You're lying still in the dark, and your mind is moving, slowly, insistently, like a current beneath a frozen surface. It's not loud, not frantic, but it's there. Every unopened email since Tuesday, each subject line pulsing faintly behind your eyes, as if lit from within. The ones with little icons or strange abbreviations. The ones that say urgent in bold without actually being urgent. Those are still vibrating in your skull like tiny trapped insects waiting to be released. You can almost hear the click of a mouse you didn't make. Feel the phantom weight of a finger hovering over the send button. The inbox is full and silent. It's not that you're avoiding them. It's just that they keep looping. Each one a small ghost in the quiet room, refusing to be laid down. And when your body gives up on effort, when it says enough and settles into the mattress like a sigh, that's when the mind wakes up properly.
The brain doesn't know how to rest without something to do. It doesn't want silence. It wants a task, even if only to be told no. That's okay. This is not a place to fix anything. Not tonight. You don't need to answer them. You don't have to file the attachments or rewrite the subject lines or imagine what they might say now. None of it matters right here, right now. The emails are still there when morning comes. No different than they were at midnight. They won't vanish because you've stopped looking. Let that sink in. Nothing changes by staying awake. Not a single reply will arrive sooner if you stay up longer. Not one thread will resolve itself just because your eyes are open and your pulse is quick. What matters now isn't the work, but how your body feels when it stops pretending to be ready for anything. You're tired, bone tired, but your brain keeps checking in on things that aren't due until tomorrow or next week, or maybe never. That's not failure. It's just what brains like yours do at night. They go through the motions of being useful, even when no one is asking. They rehearse productivity without permission. This is a place to rest, not because you've earned it, but because you're allowed to take up space in stillness. No performance required. This isn't about sleep as a goal. It's not about whether you'll fall asleep fast or stay asleep long. That's not what this session is for. You don't need to win the night. This is relaxation content, not medical advice, not a diagnosis tool, not an alternative to professional care. If your mind races every single night and sleep stays out of reach, that's something worth talking to a doctor or sleep specialist about. There are ways to help brains like yours settle down when it feels impossible. But tonight,
You're allowed to just be here. Let the inbox stay full. Let the emails keep waiting. You don't have to carry them into tomorrow. They'll still be there in the morning, and you can deal with them then, on your terms, not on their schedule. Right now, all that matters is that you're lying down, that your body has stopped trying to prove it's ready for something, that you've said no to more tasks than one person should have to say in a day. And that's enough. Now let the thoughts come. Don't try to stop them. They're not intruding. They're just passing through, like clouds over a valley at dusk. You don't need to pull them back or argue with them. Just notice when you're inside one of those emails again, the exact phrasing of an old thread, the way a subject line looked in your inbox last week, how it felt to click on it and then immediately close it without reading. Notice that feeling, how it lingers like a memory of motion, not real action, just the ghost of doing something. And when you notice yourself caught there, still inside an old email from Tuesday, that's not failure. That's not even being distracted. It's your brain checking in on its world, the way it always does when nothing else is demanding anything. You don't have to fix it. Just say quietly, "That was the email," and let it go. Don't force yourself back to this breath or this room. Don't push hard. Let it drift. Your mind isn't broken for wandering. It's just trying to find something stable to hold on to, even if only in memory. There's no need to be steady. You're not being tested. No one is grading your attention span tonight. So allow yourself the full length of a thought. Let it stretch out like a quiet wave rolling through your mind. Don't rush the end of it. Let it dissolve on its own, like ink in water. And when you're back here again, back in this moment, lying still under the blanket, with air moving gently against your skin, you don't need to congratulate yourself for returning. You just return. That's all that matters. There's a rhythm to these waves, the mind rising and falling through its own thoughts, like tides on a quiet shore. Some nights it's stormy, others are calm. Tonight, it's not stormy, but it isn't still either. It's somewhere between. The surface moving just enough to keep you aware. But awareness doesn't have to mean effort. You can be awake and not doing anything, just being in your body,
with no demand on your attention, no task, no next step, no need to do more than breathe. Let that sink in again. This is allowed. You don't have to make sense of the thoughts. You don't have to clean them up or file them away or figure out what they mean. They're not secrets. They're just echoes. Light echoes from earlier days. Like a voice you heard once and never forgot. Let it be enough that you noticed. Let it be okay that you didn't stop the thought. No shame in that. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage sleep. It's just doing what it knows how to do when there's no clear way forward. It keeps checking, keeps scanning, keeps holding on to things that might matter. But they don't matter right now. Not tonight. So let them stay unopened. Let the inbox remain a quiet stack of unanswered things. You aren't responsible for all of them. Only one at a time, and only when you choose. Now take your attention gently down into your body. Start with your feet, just 2 points where warmth meets blanket. There's no need to change anything. Just notice the pressure beneath your heels, the slight heaviness in your toes, how they rest against each other, as if trying to remember what stillness feels like. Let that feeling be enough. No need for it to get deeper or more vivid. Just let it exist. Now move up a little, your ankles, where skin meets bone and fabric. There's a soft curve there, not rigid, not tense, just present. Let your breath slow as you settle into the shape of that small space. Your calves follow, the long muscles resting under the blanket. Quiet now after hours of walking or sitting or standing in place without meaning to move. They don't need to do anything anymore. No one is asking them to carry you anywhere. Let them rest. Let your body say no. No to moving, no to effort, no to performance. Just rest. Now your knees, 2 small hinges that have carried you through so much without ever being asked if they were tired. They've bent and straightened in silence for years. Now they can stay still. No need to lock them or relax them. They're just here, soft at the joint, quiet under their own weight. Move up to your thighs, thick with muscle, warm beneath cloth, holding you upright even when you forget to stand tall. They don't have to be strong tonight. Don't make them try. Just let them sit there, heavy and peaceful, like stones in a riverbed that no longer need to resist the current. Your hips, the wide bones of your pelvis, hold everything together without ever being noticed. Let them feel it, the slow, deep release as your weight sinks into the mattress, like sand sinking through water. No resistance,
no effort to keep balance. Just surrender. Your hips hold you without needing to be seen. Just like your spine holds everything in place while no one thinks about it, curved and quiet. A steady line from pelvis to skull, not asking for thanks or attention. Let that curve soften now. Let each vertebra rest into the one below it, not stacking upward, but sinking downward, as if gravity is finally allowed to do its job without resistance. Your lower back isn't holding you up. It's letting go of the effort to keep things upright when there's no need to stand. You're lying down. That's what matters. Now feel your waist, where fabric slips and skin breathes, where the body narrows just before the rib cage lifts. There's a quiet space there, not tight, not open, but simply present. The place where your torso begins its upward journey without fanfare. Let it be still. No need to lift or tighten. Just let it stay exactly as it is. Your ribs now, soft arches that move just slightly with each breath, like the slow rise of a boat on deep water. They don't have to expand more than they already are. They don't have to push air out or pull in anything new. Their job tonight isn't volume, it's stillness. Your shoulders, those high points that carry tension like old coins in pockets, are not required to do anything at all. Let them drop even just a little bit of the way into the mattress. Not forced down, not pulled back. They're just allowed to stay where they are and be quiet. No one is waiting for you to shrug off the world tonight. You don't need to carry anything heavier than your breath. Your arms, long limbs that reach out or rest by your sides, are no longer instruments of doing. They aren't reaching for a phone, not gripping a pen, not pushing down on a keyboard. They're just here, resting alongside you. One arm soft against the blanket, the other gently curled toward your body, as if it's remembering how to hold itself. Let them stay that way. No need to straighten or reposition. The weight of each limb is its own permission. Now your hands, two small shapes at the end of those arms, fingers long and slightly bent like they've been holding something for a while, but have forgotten what it was. They're not closed now, they're open, relaxed, palms facing up, as if receiving nothing and giving nothing back. No need to clench or unclench. Let your fingertips rest against the blanket as though they've just arrived after a long walk through silence. They don't need to do anything, just exist. Your wrists are soft places where movement ends and stillness begins. There's no urgency there, no pressure from before, nothing that says you must move again soon. Just this, warmth in the hollows beneath your bones, slight pulses of blood moving slowly through veins that aren't being asked to work hard. Now take a breath, just one, and let it go slow, like air leaking out of an old balloon that's already forgotten how to float. Your chest doesn't need to rise higher or fall deeper. It just moves enough for the moment. That's all there is. Your neck, long and quiet now, is not holding your head up anymore. It's letting it rest where it wants, without trying to keep it balanced or steady. There's no need to brace against gravity. Your skull floats in space above your spine. Not heavy, not light, but simply allowed to be exactly where it is. And then the face, the soft planes of your cheeks, the slight dip beneath your eyes that holds shadows from long days and small silences.
Your jaw isn't clenched or tense, just loose at the hinge, like a door left open after someone passed through. You don't need to smile or frown. Just be. Your lips, slightly parted now, as if you've whispered something only your body remembers, are not asking for anything. They're just here, resting against each other with no mission. Let them stay that way. The smallest space between them is enough. Now imagine a single point behind your eyes, one place where thought begins and ends without needing to go anywhere else. Not the memory of an email from last Tuesday, not the fear about whether someone saw you stumble on a sentence in a meeting, not even the quiet hum of the unopened inbox still vibrating somewhere beneath awareness. Just this, a tiny dark spot behind your forehead that holds nothing but quiet. That's enough. Let it stay small and soft, like dust settling at the bottom of an old jar. And if thoughts drift back, the ones about unfinished things, the way someone looked when you said something awkward, the draft version of a message left unsent, let them come. Let them pass through your mind like clouds across a moonless sky. No need to name them or follow their paths. Just let each one arrive as an echo and then fade. There's no place for urgency here. No reason to make sense of anything that came before. The night isn't asking you to answer questions. It doesn't care if you've replied to every email, if your calendar is clear, if the laundry has been folded. It only cares that you're lying still, and you are. You don't have to fix the way your brain works tonight. You don't need to train it or tame it or convince it to stop spinning. That's not what sleep is for.
Sleep isn't a victory over thought. It's an invitation to let the mind be unproductive for a while. Let that feel strange. Let it feel like freedom, even if you've never felt free before. Now picture this: a slow river winding through flat land under a sky where no stars are visible. Just darkness so thick it feels like weight. The water moves without rushing. It doesn't need to get anywhere. There's no destination on the map. Just flow. And every ripple is soft, barely noticeable, just enough to show that something is moving. You're not trying to move faster or slower. You're just letting yourself be carried by it, by this quiet current beneath your thoughts. It doesn't care about yesterday's decisions or tomorrow's tasks. It only knows the next inch of water ahead. Let your mind become like that river. No destination, no purpose, just motion through stillness. And if you notice you're somewhere else again, that's fine. That's not a failure. That's just how the brain works when it's tired but won't stop thinking. You've been here before and you'll be here again. But now there's a way back. Not by forcing yourself or trying to rewire your mind, but simply by returning to this breath, this weight in your body, this small point behind your eyes where nothing needs to happen. The river keeps flowing. The dark stays full. You don't have to do anything other than stay here with it. You're not asleep yet, not quite, but you're getting close. Closer than you've been all night. And that's okay too, because sleep isn't something you arrive at by effort or willpower. It's something that arrives when the mind stops demanding answers and starts accepting silence. The inbox is still unopened. The emails remain unread. No one has called. No messages have come in. There's nothing to respond to now. And that's okay. You don't need to do anything with them. Not tonight. Not ever unless you choose. For now, just keep breathing. Just keep lying here. Let the dark hold you without needing to explain yourself. Let your body sink deeper, not because it has to, but because it wants to. Like a stone in water, like dust on a shelf, like silence after someone finishes speaking. No one is watching. No one is waiting. You don't have to prove anything by falling asleep. You're already resting, and that's enough. You're not trying to reach a point where everything stops. That's not necessary. The mind doesn't need to be quiet in order to rest. Just still enough to let go of what it thinks must be done. There's no checklist tucked behind your eyelids. No urgent signal blinking from somewhere deep inside the body that says this is wrong. You should be asleep by now. You're not failing because you haven't arrived. You're just here, and being here is enough. Let the silence between thoughts stretch out like a field after rain. No shape, no edge, nothing to grasp. No need to fill it with meaning or purpose. It's not empty. It's full of something else. The kind of quiet that doesn't demand anything, not even your attention. Picture this instead. A single drop falling from a ceiling into an old basin made of stone. Something worn smooth by time, where every ripple spreads slowly and settles without fanfare. The water isn't rushing toward anything. It's not trying to escape or reach the ground below. It just falls because it can. And then another one follows, not in response, not as a reaction, but simply because that's what drops do when they're suspended above stillness. You don't have to make sense of why you keep thinking about that thing from last week. The half-finished sentence, the text left on draft, the way someone paused before saying I'm fine. It doesn't matter if it was real or imagined. What matters is that it's not happening now, not in this moment. And even if your brain wants to replay it one more time, just to see what would change, it won't. Because you're no longer holding the tape. There are no clocks here, only depth. The kind of depth where minutes don't matter because they aren't measured by anything except how long it takes for a thought to drift across the surface and sink without trace. Let your shoulders drop like leaves in slow motion, each one letting go, not with effort, but just weightlessness. Like gravity finally deciding that holding on isn't required anymore. And if you feel tension rise again, not from worry, but from old patterns of needing to be ready, the body remembers how to relax even when the mind doesn't believe it can. Imagine a hallway in an empty building, long and narrow, lit only by the dim glow under a door at the far end. The floor is worn wood, cool against bare feet that aren't walking anywhere. You're not going toward anything. You're just standing there, letting your body feel the floor beneath you, the air around your limbs, how even breathing feels like a soft press of warmth into stillness. No one is called to say you need to be somewhere. No one is asking if you've done what's expected. There's no schedule hidden in your ribs or behind your eyes that says it's time to wake up again. Just this. The feel of your clothes on your skin, not tight, not too loose, just resting there as if they were made for nothing but lying still.
If a thought comes, whether it's about work or money, or whether you said something wrong once and never corrected it, let it pass like a shadow moving slowly across the wall. Not fast enough to catch, not dark enough to fear, just passing and then gone. There's no need to fix anything. No list of things that must be handled before sleep comes. The emails are still unread. The messages aren't replied to. The calendar stays blank. That's okay. It doesn't mean you've forgotten or failed. It just means that tonight, the responsibility is not yours to carry. You're allowed to let go, not in a burst of relief, but quietly, like water seeping into earth, without drama, without noise, without needing to be more than this moment. The air inside your chest is soft now, like a cloud just beginning to dissolve. No pressure building behind the ribs. No need to push it out or pull in more. Just breathing, as if you were born knowing that stillness could also be full of life. Let your hands lie where they are. Fingers slightly spread, palms open, not in offering, but in surrender. Like a cup held upside down, receiving nothing and giving back only the shape of itself. There's no need to search for calm. You're already inside it. The kind that doesn't look like peace, but feels like release. Another drop falls into the basin, another pause between breaths. The dark is not waiting. It isn't judging. It just is. And so are you. Your body remembers what your mind forgets. How to let go of effort, even when it's been trained to believe that motion equals meaning. You don't have to do anything except stay here. Still, soft, unmaking the urgency with every breath. The thoughts may come again, maybe about a name you forgot, or a phrase half remembered from a dream last week, or whether someone really meant what they said. But none of them need answers, just acknowledgement. Yes, that was there, and then release, like dust settling into the hollows of an old bookshelf, the kind with gaps between shelves where light doesn't reach. No one sees it, no one cares, but it's happening anyway, slowly, quietly, without purpose. You're not trying to silence your mind. You're just giving it permission to stop spinning for a while, to rest in the way that only stillness can allow, to be present without having to be anything. There are no gates to cross, no doors to open, no need to prove you belong here. You already do. The night didn't ask you to earn your place. It simply held space for you to be exactly as you are. Let the surface of your thoughts become like a mirror under deep water. distorted by ripples from above, but still reflecting nothing because it's not meant to show anything, just presence and depth. You don't have to make sense of why some thoughts come at 2 a.m. and others vanish in daylight. Some memories are just passing through, a freight train without a destination. They aren't stopping for you. You're not the reason they came. So when another one appears, the one about that sentence left unsent, or how someone looked when you paused too long, just let it be there like fog on glass, not clear, not sharp, just visible enough to know it's been seen, and then move on, not by pushing it away, but simply by turning your attention back to the soft weight of your body, lying in bed, or the way your breath moves through your chest like wind over still water. There is no task, no mission, no need to become someone else before you sleep. Just this. A mind that has been running all day, now allowed to stop for reasons it doesn't understand, but can finally accept. You don't have to fall asleep tonight. You only have to stay here, letting the night carry you like a river carries leaves, not because they're important, but because they're just there. And if your eyes close slowly, if your breath slows down into pauses longer than words can hold, that's not progress. It's not victory. It's just what happens when stillness becomes familiar enough to welcome. You are no longer fighting the thoughts. You've stopped trying to outrun them or explain them away. They come, they stay a moment, then drift like smoke through an open window, gone before you realize they were ever there. Let your body sink deeper into the mattress, not because it's soft, but because gravity has decided that holding on isn't required anymore. Like roots going deep in soil without needing to push up toward light. There are no promises made here, no guarantees about tomorrow. But that's not why you're lying still. You're not waiting for anything to happen, just letting time pass as if it were water flowing over stone, endlessly, silently, without complaint. The dark doesn't care what you did or didn't do today. It only cares that you are here and that you are quiet enough to feel the weight of your own stillness. And so you stay, not asleep yet, but close, close in the way that mountains are close to clouds, not touching, but breathing the same air, not connected by effort,
but by presence alone. Let your thoughts be like dust motes, floating in a beam of moonlight. No direction, no goal, just existing for their own sake. They don't need to land. They don't have to mean anything. They simply drift. You're still here, just breathing in a way that feels like it belongs to someone else, like your body has found a rhythm without asking permission. The thoughts aren't gone, but they've stopped trying to climb up and take over. They're just passing through now, not pressing for attention. Like shadows moving across a wall when the light shifts slightly. Nothing new, nothing urgent, just change happening in silence. The emails from Tuesday still hover at the edge of your mind, but not with their old weight. Not like they need answering. They're more like letters left on a doorstep during winter. There for someone to take later, but no one is coming tonight. You don't have to open them. No one expects you to. The mailman didn't deliver them, so you'd reply by dawn. He delivered them because that's what he does. And now they rest in the quiet. There's a kind of peace in letting things stay where they are, unanswered, unclaimed, not yet filed or forgotten. You don't need to act on them. Not today, not even tomorrow. Just let each subject line drift like a leaf caught in still water. One slow turn after another, turning over and over without direction. The word pending isn't loud anymore. It doesn't echo. It's just there, like the hum of an old refrigerator that runs all night but no longer matters. Let your attention settle into the space between breaths. The pause when nothing is happening, not even thinking. That gap where time feels like it slows down because you're not measuring it. There's no need to fill it with meaning or purpose. Just let it be empty enough for a thought to pass through without getting stuck. Your fingers are relaxed now, not curled into fists of worry or restless energy. They lie flat on your chest, not touching anything important, not even the sheets, just resting like two small stones that have stopped rolling and decided to stay put. The weight isn't heavy, it's quiet, and it tells you something. This is enough. You don't need more. The air in the room moves slowly. No wind, no draft, but just breathing with you. It doesn't rush. It doesn't ask for anything. There's a stillness that comes from not needing to be noticed. That kind of quiet isn't empty. It's full of presence, full of being allowed to stay exactly where you are. Your shoulders aren't held up anymore. They've slipped down into the mattress like they're tired of pretending they need to carry anything. No one is waiting for you to stand straight. No one is looking at your posture from across a room or judging how much effort it takes just to sit upright in bed. You don't have to be alert. You don't have to be ready. There's no clock ticking forward, only the soft passage of time that doesn't care about schedules or deadlines. It moves, not because something must happen next, but because everything is already happening at its own pace. The night isn't on a mission. It just continues. And so can you. Let your thoughts be like distant radio signals, faint transmissions from places you've never been, voices speaking in languages you don't understand. They come and go without leaving footprints. You hear them not to interpret or respond, but because they're there, like static on an old channel that plays only during storms. It doesn't mean anything. It just exists. And when a new one comes, the one about the tone of your last message, or how you might have misread someone's silence, don't trace it back. Don't rewind. Just let it pass like smoke through cracks in wood. You don't need to know where it came from. You only need to notice that it was there, briefly, and then gone again. You're not trying to fix anything, not even the thoughts themselves. They aren't broken. They're just passing through a space where stillness has grown thick enough to allow them in without demanding they do something. Like birds flying through an open window,
not searching for shelter, not fleeing danger, just moving from one side of the room to another, because that's what birds do. Your eyelids are heavier now, not shut tight, but soft as fabric draping over a surface. They don't resist anymore. They don't try to stay awake. They just lower, like curtains drawn at dusk when no one is home. No need for ceremony, no reason to keep them open any longer. You're not asleep yet, but you're close enough that the world has changed. Not dramatically, but subtly. Colors are dimmer, edges blur, sounds sink into distance, like stones dropped in deep water. There's less pressure to respond, to react, because nothing is asking for anything anymore. There's a quiet hum beneath all of this, not from any machine or system, but from your own body, remembering how it feels not to be running, not to be searching, just being. That low frequency that runs through bones when the mind finally stops trying to catch up with itself. You don't need to remember what you were thinking 5 minutes ago, or 10, or even 2 hours. You're not building a story. There's no plot here, no climax, no resolution. Only this, the slow surrender of effort, the decision not to fight anymore. Your breath is so soft now, it hardly moves air at all. It doesn't need to. The body knows how to breathe without you telling it what to do. Like roots deep underground pulling nutrients from soil that doesn't know they're there. No thanks, no recognition, just quiet giving and receiving. Let the darkness around you be like a blanket folded over something old and worn, but still loved. Not new, not shiny, but warm enough to stay in for hours without needing to explain why. There's no need to become someone else before sleep comes. You don't have to earn it by being quiet or calm or controlled. Sleep isn't earned. It arrives when the mind stops trying so hard to be elsewhere. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not failing because you can't shut off. You're simply human, running on a different kind of energy. One that doesn't run on discipline, but on curiosity and presence. Let your thoughts go like feathers caught in an updraft. They rise only slightly before falling back down into stillness. Not wasted, not useless, just released. The room is no longer holding its breath. It's breathing with you. The walls aren't rigid anymore. Just soft shapes that don't care whether you're awake or not. They've seen every version of you. Restless, tired, confused,
trying, quiet, and they've never asked for anything in return. You are not expected to be any particular way tonight. Not calm, not focused, not productive. Just here, lying still, letting the night do what it does best. Hold space without demand. And so you stay, no longer fighting to fall asleep, not even trying to become someone who sleeps easily. You're just allowing yourself to be carried by something larger than your thoughts, larger than time, larger than all those emails that never got answered, and all the conversations that played on loop in your head, like broken recordings. You don't need to understand it. You only need to let go.
Let your mind become a quiet lake. No reflection, no movement, just deep water waiting. Waiting not for anything in particular, just being. Not trying to be calm or peaceful or even empty, just present. Like the moment before sound begins, when silence is already full of what's coming. And if you drift, not all the way under, but enough that your body feels like it's floating above the mattress, the air isn't cold. It's not heavy. There's no fear in letting go, because there's nothing to catch you. You're not falling. You're just sinking, slowly, gently, into a place where effort has no meaning and thoughts don't need answers. There's no reason to wake up again tonight. Not yet. But if you do, if your eyes open slightly or your breath changes, you'll still be here in the same way, just deeper. Like roots that grow not toward light, but into dark earth, because they found something more important than visibility, connection. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to perform sleep. There's no audience watching from the edge of your awareness. Just this, a body resting without needing permission, and a mind finally letting go, not because it's tired, but because it has been allowed to stop pretending. You are not being pulled by anything but the weightless drift of breath, the quiet pull of stillness that doesn't need your name to be real. The thoughts don't have to be answered. They just exist, like distant streetlights seen through fog, glowing softly without calling anyone's attention. You don't need to walk toward them or away from them. They are not threats, not demands, just points of quiet light in a space that holds no urgency. There is something about the way silence settles when it knows you're staying, not just resting, but allowing yourself to be held by the dark, like an old coat left on a hook. It doesn't care if you've written
every email or not. It doesn't remember your unfinished list. It only remembers warmth, the kind that comes from being known without needing explanation. Your mind still hums, yes, but it's no longer scanning for danger or trying to fix the past or rehearsing a future that hasn't arrived. It's just humming, like an old refrigerator in a basement, quiet but not broken, a steady tone beneath everything else, not loud enough to disturb sleep, only present enough to say, I am still here, and so are you. Let it be like that now. The hum of your thoughts is not noise. It is not failure. It is the sound of energy moving through a body that hasn't stopped being alive, even though it's tired. The brain doesn't shut down. It simply shifts gears, like a car coasting slowly downhill on a road with no destination. Imagine you are lying on a wide stone path in a place where seasons don't matter. The surface is cool under you, but not cold, just the kind of cool that settles into your skin without shocking it. There's no wind, no birds, just stillness so deep it feels like time itself has paused to listen. Each breath moves through you like water passing over stone, not rushing, just flowing where it wants. The air is thick with quiet, not empty, not dead, but full of the kind of presence that doesn't need words. It's been waiting for you all along, not in some distant place, but right here, under your ribs, behind your eyes, in every unspoken moment since you first closed your eyes and said, I can't sleep again. But tonight isn't about sleeping, not really. It's about letting go of the idea that you have to be asleep to be resting, that you must be still, or quiet, or peaceful, before rest is allowed. There's no gatekeeper in this dark, no checklist, just space, room enough for your thoughts to wander, for your body to stretch without permission, for your mind to drift like a leaf caught between two currents and not care which one wins. The email's still there. The unresolved things, they aren't gone, but they are no longer yours to carry tonight. You don't have to answer them. You don't even have to think about them. They're just sitting in the dark, like old books left on a shelf that nobody reads anymore. Still whole, still valid, but not urgent. Let your attention fall gently down through your body, as if it were sinking slowly into warm water. not deep enough to drown, but far enough to feel weightless. Start at your toes. They're curled slightly under the blanket, maybe pressed against each other like two small animals seeking warmth. The skin there is soft, still sensitive, even after hours of stillness. Now, move up, one slow inch at a time, letting yourself notice not what's happening, but how it feels to be aware of it. Not judging, not fixing, just noticing that your foot knows its own shape without needing you to describe it. Your ankles are relaxed now. The muscles have softened like clay left out in the rain. They don't need to brace against anything. There's no one coming through the door. No alarm tomorrow. Nothing needs to be ready by morning. You're not behind, not falling short. Just here, with your body breathing on its own. Let your knees follow, softly, without effort, like they've already decided to stop fighting gravity and just let themselves settle into the mattress like sand finding its level after a storm. Your thighs are heavy now, not in a bad way, but in the way that only deep rest can make them feel. Warm, full, settled into place as if they were meant to be right where they are. No need to tense or straighten. No need to prove anything by being upright. And your stomach, there's no tension there either. Just a quiet softness, like a pillow stuffed with nothing but air and stillness. The breath moves through it without resistance, like wind passing over an open window in summer. Nothing has to be held anymore. Everything is allowed to be loose. Your chest rises slowly, not because you want it to, but because your body remembers how to do it. Not forced, not dramatic. Just a gentle lift of skin and bone, as if the air outside knows exactly when to come in and doesn't need permission. The hands, your palms are flat against the blanket now, fingers relaxed like roots spreading beneath soil. You don't have to clench or unclench. They're just resting, not doing anything, not needing to be useful, just being present with their own shape and warmth. Your arms hang down from your shoulders as if they've forgotten how to move, softly, loosely, without purpose. The joints are quiet now, not stiff, not aching, but simply still. Like time forgot them for a moment, so they stopped pretending to matter. And up through the neck, the muscles there have softened too. Not tight, not strained, just letting go of their usual job, holding your head up against gravity and expectation. Your head is resting now on nothing but air and softness.
It doesn't need to be centered or upright or alert. You're not being watched. Your jaw unclenches, just a little at first, then more. The teeth don't press together anymore. There's no tension in the temples, no grinding of thoughts behind your eyes, just space where thought used to buzz like bees trapped in glass. You can feel it now, the shift that doesn't come from effort, but from surrender, not collapse, not defeat, but release. Like a door left open long ago, finally letting go of its hold on itself. Just because the air outside is kinder than the room inside, the darkness around you isn't empty. It's full of silence that has no shape, yet feels like something real. It doesn't need to be filled with anything, doesn't ask for your attention, doesn't demand a response. It simply is, and so are you. There is no goal in this moment, not completion, not calm, not even sleep. There's only the quiet act of allowing yourself to exist exactly as you are, awake but not restless, tired but not broken, thinking but not racing, not running toward anything, not fleeing from anything. You don't need to be someone who sleeps easily. You don't have to become someone else before rest is allowed. The body already knows what it needs. It's been waiting for you to stop trying so hard to convince it that you're ready. Let your thoughts continue if they want. Let them drift like smoke rising from a candle whose flame has gone low, not bright enough to burn, only warm enough to linger. They don't need to be followed. They don't need to be caught or stopped. You don't have to make sense of them. Just let them float. Let the room stay soft around you, the walls breathing with you, not judging, not remembering,
what you did wrong last week, not holding on to any conversation that went sideways in your head 3 hours ago. The night doesn't care about your past.
It only knows how to hold space without asking for anything back. And if you drift just a little deeper than before, if the edges of your awareness blur and your body feels like it's sinking into something older, thicker, more patient than thought itself, then let that happen too. You're not falling. You're just letting go. Not because you've done enough. Not because you've earned it. Just because there's no reason to stay awake anymore. Not really. The world outside is quiet. The lights are off. No one knows what time it is. No one needs your answer. There's nothing waiting for you at the edge of sleep that requires you to be sharp or ready. Your breath settles into a rhythm that isn't trying to be anything, just breathing, like the slow rise and fall of leaves in a still pond after rain. The air inside your chest feels lighter than it has in days. Not because you've done something right, but because you haven't had to do anything at all. The emails from last Tuesday are still there. The ones that never got opened. The ones that hummed softly behind your eyes, like distant radio static. Those aren't gone. They're just not yours anymore tonight. You don't need to answer them. You don't have to remember what they said or decide what comes next. The inbox stays open without asking you to stay awake. It's okay for things to wait. You're allowed to stop tending to the unfinished. No one is watching. No one will count how many tasks remain uncompleted tomorrow morning. Your mind doesn't have to be on duty. Not now. Not here. The thoughts that drift in, whether it's a note you meant to send or a phrase from a conversation you can't quite place, are not demands. They're just passing through the room like dust motes caught in a shaft of moonlight. You don't have to name them. You don't have to keep track. The edge of your body feels soft at the shoulders, where skin meets muscle and no longer holds its shape against pressure. Your fingers are loose on the sheets. No need to grip. No reason to clench. They're just resting, like roots that don't need to dig deeper because they've already found their ground. The space between your ribs expands slightly with each breath, not wide enough for effort, but wide enough for stillness. There's a quiet in the room that isn't silence. It's the kind of hush that comes from being fully seen without needing to perform. The walls don't remember what you failed at earlier today. The floor doesn't care if you forgot something important. Even your own mind, which has been running circuits all night like an old generator trying too hard. This version of it is finally allowed a break. You're not behind. You're not falling short. You're just here. Not more than that. That's enough. The rhythm of your breath slows further, not because you've made it slow, but because slowing feels natural now, like water finding its level after being stirred. The air inside you moves without urgency. It doesn't need to rush forward or catch up with anything. You don't have to push towards sleep. Sleep is not an achievement. It's not a reward for good behavior. You can be awake and still safe. You can be tired and still enough. You don't have to earn rest by being quiet, calm, or peaceful. Just existing in this moment, this body, this breath, this dark, is already sufficient. There is no checklist, no hidden bar you must clear. The night doesn't grade your worth based on how fast you fall asleep. A thought drifts. Whether the light on the charger flickers at midnight, it's not important. You don't need to check. The answer can wait until morning if it has one. If it doesn't, still okay. There are things that aren't meant to be known right now. Not all questions have to be answered tonight. Your shoulders sink a little more into the mattress, not down, but inward, like they found a place where gravity isn't an obstacle, just something you can let yourself move with instead of against. The weight in your limbs is not burden. It's presence. It's proof that you're here. Still whole. Still breathing. Still allowed to be soft. The space around you feels like it's holding its breath, not waiting for you to do anything, but simply being patient, like a forest after rain, where every leaf and root knows what it means to rest without guilt. You don't need to stay awake longer because the night is not unfinished. It doesn't end with your thoughts or your efforts. Your mind stops trying to catch up, stops rehearsing, stops explaining itself. There's no story being told anymore.
just breath, just dark, just warmth in the hollow of your body, where stillness has finally taken root.